Make your next move with American Express Business Platinum. You'll get 5 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Plus, enjoy access to the American Express Global Lounge Collection. And with the welcome offer of 150,000 points, your business can soar to all new heights. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum. Amex Business Platinum. Built for business by American Express.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
You're right, it's after the sex scene, when they become a real couple, I did still enjoy it, but it didn't match the first half for me. It did feel like a cut and stick job of 2 films. I was really confused.
Yeah.
When they were making this was a film that broke up Brad's marriage, wasn't it? And
Was it?
all the rumours were that him and Marion Cotillard were doing it on the sly.
Hey guys, this is episode 89. Welcome all. Hey everybody, and welcome to this episode of Flixwatcher podcast. Today we're joined by Ems and Stephanie from the Mighty Foof, and we're going to be talking about Allied, as always, with my ally, Helen.
Nice, very nice.
Hello.
We are, of course, on iTunes, where you can subscribe and leave us a lovely review. You can also find us on Twitter at FlixWatcherPod. Come say hi, give us a tweet, and visit the website flixwatcher.tv for full listings of each episode.
So all films were available on Netflix at the time of recording, guys. Just as a bit of a warning, there is some bad language and there will be spoilers. You have been warned.
Hello, film fans. Welcome to this episode of Flixwatcher Podcast. In our studio today, we have Ems and Stephanie. If you would like to tell our listeners about the podcast that you do together.
Okay, so our very jazzy podcast called The Mighty Foof. There is 3 of us. So there's myself, Ems, Stephanie, and the wonderful Emma. And we send out bi-weekly episodes covering all sorts of different things, from prostate cancer to online dating, which is hilarious. And yeah, we don't take ourselves too seriously, but that's not to say we don't do some really serious subjects. And we just try and have as much fun as possible, really. And our title of our name has got vagina in it. So
It's got vagina in it, has it?
yeah, like foof. It's like a vagina.
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever have to explain that to many people?
All the time. It's best when we're like networking at an event and like a really, really like classy man will stand there and be like, so what do you do? And we're like, oh, we do a bit of podcasting. And then what's it called? And I'm like, it's called The Mighty Foof. It's called the what? The Mighty Foof. Oh, right. And then you just see his face just like drop. And he's like, shut down.
Why? It's a great name.
We think it's a great name. We do.
Are you fans of the Mighty Boosh?
Yes, I am a massive fan of the Mighty Foof. Yeah, love
Don't
it.
sue us. We didn't rip you off. We
No,
just
we
like
didn't.
You.
We just like you. The moon.
The moon.
So, Ems, you chose Allied for us. Can you give us a 2-minute synopsis and then finish off by telling us why you chose it for us to watch?
Okay, I'm going to try my best. I want to disclaimer here that I'm not a massive film buff. I'm like a Sunday evening film watcher. I'm not like the directors and the lighting assistants and the makeup artists film watcher. So I'll try my best.
You don't need to be. That's because it's Netflix, you know.
It's Netflix.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, here we go. No pressure. So, Max Vatan, which is the lovely Brad Pitt, is a Canadian wing commander, and he basically goes undercover and partners up with a very attractive woman, Marion, I'm going to get her name wrong, Beausoleil. Yeah. Who is played by Marion Cotillard.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they play husband and wife, and they go off and they execute a German ambassador. It's great. And then they fall in love, which is really cute. And they go back to London, they get married and have a baby. And then he gets called into like V-section, which I'm not sure what it is. I think it's like a secret
Just
Something to do with the vagina, maybe?
I feel like that's a segment we could have. Like, welcome to V-section
with a Mighty Foof. And basically they're just like, dude, your wife's a spy, a German spy. And then he's like, no, she's not. They have a bit of an argument about it. And then they do this really cool blue dye thing. And then it turns out she is a spy. But in between all that, like a load of stuff happens.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Spoilers, yes.
Oh, was I supposed to say spoilers?
No.
All of that was a spoiler. Sorry about that, guys.
You went straight to like the heart of the film.
Yeah. I tend to do that sometimes.
Why did you choose it?
Because I thought that I was recommended choosing a rather intelligent / highbrow film because we didn't think that a Pixar / animated film would go down as well.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, the scores will tell. Well, when we get to the scoring, but
yeah. So
I
basically,
don't think we would have quite welcomed an animation. We've not had one for a while, have we?
Well,
Pirates.
Yeah, that was the beginning.
Yeah, that was like nearly 2 years ago.
Well, now I feel even more stupid. Damn it. But yeah, I watched this film like 5 times to get it right, by the way, as well.
I mean, that's really
that's intense. In the space of what, a week?
Yeah, well, I had watched it like a couple of times before.
Right.
And then I like wanted to do a really good job and didn't want to just do my normal thing of like, yeah, it was really good.
Is that why you went straight to the spoilers? You didn't want to ruin all the research?
Yeah, I had to get it all out. I was like, I've done so much
And there's my
research.
research.
Yeah. Now I can relax. Yeah.
Well, I think it's definitely going to have some repeat viewing high scores from you.
Well, we'll see, because you felt under pressure to watch it 5 times. The question will be, when it comes to the scores, are you going to watch it again? Before we get anywhere near that, Stephanie, what were your thoughts on the film?
I absolutely loved it. I actually watched it before we decided that we were going to review it.
In the cinema, or just when it was on Netflix?
Just when it came out on Netflix. They literally popped up on recommended films. I love a spy film. Obviously love Brad Pitt as a spy. Who wouldn't? Sounds incredible. So watched it at home and thought it was really, really amazing, really engaging, and total plot twist. Obviously, you've now ruined the plot twist. But yeah, the plot twist that she alluded to so sensitively is incredible. Didn't see it coming. Yeah, just an incredible spy film.
What are your thoughts, H?
So I need to get this out of the way now. What the hell is going on with Brad Pitt's face in this film?
No word of lie, this is in my notes.
What is wrong with his face?
I did not pick up on this.
I didn't notice what's wrong with his face.
He's what? Nearly 60 now, is he? Is he
50-ish,
50-something?
50-something.
Late 50s. And
he might have been early 50s when he filmed. This is
there's only
4 years ago.
Yeah, not much. I mean, his face in this is really weird. And I had a real problem with Brad Pitt in this film generally. I don't think he was well cast in it at all. And I didn't believe that they even liked each other, let alone they were in love. I don't know, I just found Brad Pitt was just really miscast, and his face and I just didn't think he was very good.
Outside of Brad Pitt's face, did you actually like the story?
Any other thoughts?
I watched it with my boyfriend, who really enjoyed it because he does like spy films and things like that. And I was reading that there was it may be sort of based on some sort of true story, but nothing particularly official. I mean, yeah, it's quite as a spy film goes. It's it's got a few little twists, a bit of action, and set during the war, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
a nice bit of period drama, even though everything looked like it was filmed on a film set rather than in any kind of real locations.
Even their little house?
Yeah, even like Hampstead. I was like, I could just walk down to Hampstead and check out where it might have been shot.
I wasn't that convinced by it.
Okay.
It was a bit strange. And I was quite surprised that it's a Robert Zemeckis film.
That was a sticking point for me.
And Sex in the Sandstorm, I thought was a bit silly.
Yeah.
Yes.
The camera angle on that was weird.
Totally agreed on this. And actually, it really irritated me because I was like...
Sex in the Sandstorm.
Yeah, and I was like, the sex scene is going to be hard on this. And they got to it and I was like, no, wait, is that it? No. Because if you've been in that position, you would know it's not glamorous.
Sandy and gritty.
Yeah.
And those cars were not...
Things in the wrong place.
So that was my main thing, was like... Well, not my main thing. I thought...
That was your main thing, wasn't it?
I thought it was like, this looks a bit shit. B, I was like, if this car's got air vents on it, there's going to be sand all over the place. But maybe you just kind of make do, don't you? Because people have sex on the beach, and that's never as good as you think it's going to be. So, I think the thing with it being Robert Zemeckis pissed me off because he's one of my favourite directors. Love like his films like to bits. We're talking Back to the Future. I haven't had it on this show yet. Someone come on and pick Back to the Future.
Is it on Netflix?
It was.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it still is. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is one of my favourite films.
Yep. Oh, it's a great film.
It's my actual like childhood favourite film. Jessica Rabbit has been my girl crush since day.
Well, she's been just a crush. So a lot of his films, some of them I've just not bothered with, like Beowulf. Not going to bother with that.
He tells Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, he tells a really good story.
Romancing the Stone.
Yes.
So he's got some really good films, but I just don't feel this is a film that was meant for him to do. It just didn't really sit well with me. I'm with yourself, Helen, in terms of the romance side of things. When they had the sex scene, another thing that I didn't like about the sex scene for me is that made it like less interesting, because the whole bit about them pretending to be a couple at the start, like, okay, now you go to the roof because that's what you would do if we'd had sex and you've not seen you for a while, and Marion Cotillard like completely ruling the roost and saying how he should act in different situations and trying to make him be like a proper Parisian and stuff like that. I thought that stuff was actually the most interesting part of the film, and then when they had sex, then it all just went a bit kitchen sink drama. It just kind of lost that interest for me. And when it came to the part which you spoiled at the start about is she a spy? I was just like,
she's a spy.
I was like, I don't care. I don't care if she's a spy or not. Unfortunately, I liked the fact that it said Highgate Street, Hampstead. I might try and find out where those places are, where they filmed, if they did film. But that was it. Yeah, I didn't really. It's not as good as I thought it should be for a film with Marion Cotillard, who's ace, Brad Pitt, who's ace, not in this film, and Robert Zemeckis, who is ace generally as well. Unfortunately, sorry, Stephanie.
No, that's fine. No. I do agree that his. I've now really thought about his weirdly unaged face, and the sandstorm thing. Or I just thought, oh my god, they're going to get stuck. That's going to be the plot twist. They're now stuck in the desert forever. That's the end.
I thought it would have been more interesting if they had to pretend they were a couple all the way through, and then.
But with the baby and everything.
Well, that could have been part of the thing.
Or that he was a spy. All along, a German spy, pretending to be Canadian, pretending to be Parisian.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, his accent as well. I mean, they have coaches for this kind of thing, don't they?
For the what do you mean, French side?
Maybe it's a French accent.
But that's part of the point, though, because the Canadians. Have you ever like met a French person speak to a French Canadian? French people rip the shit out of the.
He wouldn't
Canadians.
be able to pass.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't be able to pass as a
exactly.
French person at all.
The real French people would have been able to tell that he was lying and therefore is a terrible spy because he can't do.
But that was her point about you're not going to speak to anyone Parisian.
Yeah,
you could speak to Moroccan because their French is different. But I would have thought they'd still be able to tell.
Yeah, and there should have been some kind of. At no point do you feel that they're in any kind of danger.
That's true, actually. When they had to do that, I didn't actually understand what they had to do.
That
really,
German guy at the start.
Yeah.
That's like
in the cafe.
only moment of actual, real kind of
jeopardy,
spy danger in the whole film.
Yeah, I actually really agree. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it, and I think for me, I'm all about the love scenes, and I was
not enough sex.
There wasn't enough sex, and I didn't. And I coming back to the sex scene, I just feel like it really let down the romance, because it was a film that relied really heavily on tension between them, and then like this level of sexual tension. So you expect that romance to be as intense as that. And I just felt like after that, I was just a bit like, oh, and now he's made her his missus and got her up the duff, and now they're going to go and live in London. Yeah. She's got a penny on. Where's her day job gone?
That's it.
She's going to go back to work.
She lost what she was doing. She seemed like the better spy out of both of them.
Yeah.
It was almost like two films
more convincing,
cut and stuck together in some ways, because that's why I say kind of a bit of a plot twist with it, because the first half is a really, really good spy film, I think. And you're right, it's after the sex scene, when they become a real couple, I just I did still enjoy it, but it didn't match the first half for me. It did feel like a cut and stick job of two films. I was really confused.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, this was obviously, when they were making this was a film that broke up Brad's marriage, wasn't it? And
was it?
Was it?
All the rumours were that him and Marion Cotillard were doing it on the sly.
Is that what split it up? Is that in the same way that Mr. and Mrs. Jones kind of split up him and
Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like all the tabloids went crazy when they were making this, saying how like, oh, there was real romance on film. So it's almost like they are trying so hard to convince everyone that nothing happened between them that they're not even acting like there's anything between them in case anyone goes, oh my God, the simmery on screen happened off screen as well.
Okay.
So that was when they were making this, they all had to like issue statements saying nothing happened, blah, 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 and we're really hurt like you thought this and all of that.
Second plot twist.
Yeah. But they neglected to put any of that on the screen.
Which is a shame.
But then Zemeckis isn't really known for his kind of sexy films, is he?
Well, Flight's got some nudity in it. Was Flight one of his?
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it?
Romancing the Stone had some naughty bits in. I'm sure I remember.
We're just checking now to see.
We're just checking. So,
Zemeckis?
Ems, Brad Pitt getting naked.
He doesn't really
He
get
doesn't
that
get
naked,
naked.
though.
That's what I was trying to think. Is he...
Disappointingly,
Not naked enough.
for us who are fans of Brad's butt, didn't get that treat that much.
But he used to get topless a lot, though, at least.
Yeah. Do you think? Because I wonder if it's he's not in his prime.
Maybe
So
the
maybe
face
he's a little bit
and the
more
body no longer match.
They did do Flight.
Yeah.
I like Flight.
Yeah, Flight's got a lot of nudity in it.
Yeah. But the story's a bit more rock and roll.
Yeah. And there's a bit of nudity in Forrest Gump, maybe.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gonna talk about nudity for the rest of the.
Let's just...
Yeah.
Well,
Why
I
not?
just- we're kind of
like it.
Castaway. Tom Hanks doesn't really wear many clothes.
True. So we're kind of hooked in on the bit you were most disappointed with, Ems. That sex wasn't up to,
The sex
wasn't up to
standard.
scratch. And Marion likes to get naked.
She does.
Yeah?
Yeah. We
So-
didn't really see much of
No.
her naked either.
No, we don't normally talk about nudity on this show, do we?
No, we haven't really had
No.
that many films that are.
What about Under the Skin, where there's a lot of Scarlett Johansson and the erect peni?
Yeah.
But we didn't talk about it.
Oh, the Mighty Peni. That could
The
be
Mighty
another
Peni.
side podcast.
Like
no? Okay, no.
a brother okay.
No.
I was just thinking about who I could pull in to make that
And
podcast.
also, really, Robert Zemeckis did Death Becomes Her,
Yeah,
which
which-
is a film I really love.
I need to watch it again because I only saw it when it came out in the cinema when I was like
I must
10.
have seen it about 30 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it one of those things like when Harry Met Sally where it makes more sense as you get older? Because when
I haven't seen it in a long time, so
Okay.
I'd go back to that, I think.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Allied.
Back to Allied, yeah. So he did Flight. So yeah, Robert Zemeckis is just not a master filmmaker, but he can make amazing films that people love
I was
to death.
surprised to see his name on the credits at the end,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Let's talk about the plot twist. When he was called in to say, "Hey, we think your wife's a spy. Can you go check it out, please?" How much did you guys believe? What were your thoughts? Were you like, "Oh, she's a spy then," or were you hoping that she wasn't?
I was like, damn, that is going to be an awkward conversation when you get home. And then they were like, you've got to do the blue. I was sold on the blue dye thing. That was like, I'm going to implement that in my day life now. I'm going to see who picks up on things. And then I liked that. And then, I think I was like, I feel like she's definitely a spy. I just feel like she was too willingly like, yes, I'll run to London with you and get married. I was just like,
So do you think she got pregnant on purpose?
Yeah, I think that...
Or she willingly... Because she was the one that was forced in a relationship more than Brad, whatever their characters' names were, Marion Cotillard. But she was the one that was kind of trying to get him hooked on more than because he was trying to pull away, wasn't he?
yeah, he wasn't really feeling it, was he?
No.
I think
He
I
changed his
believed.
mind.
I think I believed her fake relationship, and then I think she almost just fell into this is quite comfortable. I quite like this. I could make this work.
Right.
Sort of thing. And then maybe gradually her guard broke down and she fell in love with him. But it wasn't this like, oh, I've been so in love with you from the first moment I saw you, or this deep love connection. It was almost, this is all right. So we'll just kind of keep going. But I think she progressively felt stronger about him. That's how I felt during the film anyway.
And part of the breakdown, I guess, doing the blue dye thing was that they had the blue dye plot in place just to find out whether she's going to be a spy or not. But also then he went around the houses doing like visiting
Causing
people.
a lot of death to people
Yeah,
just
exactly.
to find out
whether she was a spy or not. And that irritated me as well.
Did it irritate you?
Yeah.
I was like screaming.
I was really.
Yes,
I was like,
just leave the piece of paper there.
I was like, I would be Brad Pitt in this. I'd be like, oh, you want me to do nothing and stick to the rules? So screw you. Gonna go get an aeroplane now and go somewhere else and break into a jail. Sorry.
More spoilers.
No, we can spoil. I was just joking at the start.
And go and see The Man with No Eyes.
Yeah.
That was really sad.
Is this Marion Cotillard? I can't see. Shit, I should have checked before leaving the house. Yeah, is Dave there? Can he see? Okay, good. Oh yeah, just tell him Brad's along. Yeah, Brad's coming.
Or maybe just don't talk to only the side of somebody's face. Maybe actually stand in front of somebody and address them properly, and then you'll know these things.
Yeah. Oh, that.
And he got that young lad killed as well.
Yeah.
All for
the
his
one that was being
selfishness.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. He was
So
just cuter than Brad
selfish.
Pitt as well. He had more of a life ahead of him as a really convincing spy.
He had
Oh,
less
definitely.
Botox, for sure.
And his body probably matched his face.
It's always handy.
I generally don't notice. I don't notice wigs. I don't notice people aging unless it's something weird, like with Joe Pantoliano in Midnight Run, where it's like he looks older, like 30 years ago than he does now, which is like that's a weird,
That's obvious.
freaky thing. For
It's the
me.
neck. Check the neck.
Yeah,
Well, it's kind of he was bald then, but he was trying to maintain that he wasn't bald, so it just looked like he was older.
Spray can jobby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people who we know normally without hair, to see them with hair is always...
It's like a shell shock, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, guys, I think let's head, unless you want anything else to say about this, let's head to the score, shall we?
I do have one very quick thing.
Go.
Sorry
No,
about that,
don't
guys.
apologise.
I really loved the fashion and all of the outfits. That for
That
me.
Marion wore.
Oh,
The beginning when they're
Just-
when they're still being spies.
yeah.
So 40s glamour.
like this is what I mean. So she looks amazing, and she wears that beautiful dress, and she's got these lovely silk nighties on, and she's elegant and sexy, and I'm like, I want to be you. And then she meets a man and does exactly what I don't want her to do,
She's all
which is
dowdy.
then don an apron and dowdy clothes, and she's like, oh, I'm just going to sit here now and make you
Breakfast.
mushroom stroganoff, and I'm like, no,
Yeah, I mean,
Go put your dress
makes
on.
that kind of meal for
a party.
the
For a party?
cocaine party?
It might. I don't know. I was kind of thinking about it, but then it's like you can make it's a one pot thing. You just get a load of beef.
No one's going to be eating that.
Oh, I'd be eating beef stroganoff because you get a bowl and just like spoon it into your face with some bread, maybe.
Nice. I like that.
Although, yeah, you want some canapes as well.
Canapes.
And actually, in that scene is the best sex scene in the whole film.
In the cupboard.
yeah.
In the cupboard.
Yeah.
When the couple come out and she's got her boobs out.
Yeah,
and
one
they're-
tit
and they
hanging
look
out.
like, oh. And I was like, that's what we're missing.
Like a
That's
fun-
real
that-
sex. None of this
looked like a
sandstorm
fun party.
party.
Yeah, yeah.
Apart from like the plane coming down in the garden.
Yeah, that was really scary, actually. I was a bit like, oh.
Were you hiding behind the sofa?
I've got a little bit of a thing about like planes dropping, and that for me, I was a bit like, oh God, oh gosh, oh no, oh no, and then I was like, no, everything's fine. We're
It's a
fine. We're going to go have a
film.
picnic outside.
Do you think it's one of those things with a film like this where Brad Pitt's in it and Marion Cotillard, she hasn't got the same stature as Brad, but I just wasn't, from the start I just thought they're going to be fine. I think you nailed it on, was it you, Ems, that said you had no fear that they were going to, you just thought they were going to
just gonna-
survive.
yeah, there's no danger in
There's
it.
no danger involved at all. And was it you that said that, Steph? And looking at some of the images here, I think Marion is the better of the spies. She knew how to, apart from not being able to get the gun going at the start, but she rocked it. She's the best of spy. She knew how to play the game properly, and she looked good with the costume, I guess, in
costume.
in Morocco, in Casablanca.
Yeah.
But it was just,
I just wonder if it would have been a completely different film with someone other than Brad Pitt in it.
yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, sometimes
I think
someone's stature actually, especially if they've
takes
got to
it away from the,
if they've got to play a slightly conflicting role,
Hmm.
because you know who they are, you already don't believe that they're a spy because you know it's Brad Pitt and you know what he's been in. But I think with her, I described her in my notes as painfully seductive.
Yeah.
I think because you're not as familiar with her, or maybe haven't seen as much of, or I certainly hadn't seen as much of her work. I found her slightly more alluring.
Yeah, I think she's great.
Yeah, I've seen quite a lot of her work. I think she's great. I will watch her in pretty much anything,
she's in.
and she always gives a different performance for whatever she's working with. But I really struggle to believe
Brad
his
Pitt.
performance. Yeah, I mean, his face, the way he was towards her, there's just nothing there.
He's a bit bored, wasn't he?
Yeah, he just phoned it in, really.
Yeah.
Which I think is a bit of a shame because the story's, fairly agreeable, and it just could have been, it annoys me that he's in this film.
Right.
I think it's a shame that he ruined it.
He ruins the film.
It was like he was a temp at an office job that he really didn't want to be in, and like turned up for work every day and was like, I'm going to do bare minimum to get me through this. Eat your biscuits and then go. That's how I felt.
Or maybe he just saved all the emotion for like the last few minutes of the film.
Yeah. Oh God, no, don't. That last.
Oh no,
last scene.
yeah, let's not. We've managed to get all the way through without talking about the last scene.
So I said I watched it 5 times and I cried every single time.
Oh really?
Yes, like bawling. It was too
the
much.
last scene is not okay.
Totally broke me.
Not okay.
Wasn't expecting it. Yeah.
I feel like we shouldn't allude to any more.
No,
it's so.
You'll have to watch it, listeners.
Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you not agree?
I was just like, well,
you'd lost interest by then,
Yeah,
hadn't
I
you?
did, yeah.
Were you
shit
doing the
happens.
ironing by then or something?
I was watching, but I was just kind of like, oh, they've destroyed a car with that.
That was a nice car you've just
Not the leather. God.
Destroyed a car, and the plane's clearly not going to take off. So
No.
what's going to happen?
Anyway,
Yeah.
we won't go any further.
Let's head to the scores.
Hey Atlanta, Apple is open for small business. That's right. We're here to make starting and running your business simpler. With privacy and security built in on all devices, it's easy for you to protect your customers' data. And if you need hardware or software support, you'll get advice from business experts at no cost whatsoever. So you can focus more on the soup du jour and less on, the other stuff. At Apple, we're open for your small business. Go to apple.com/small business or visit an Apple store to learn more.
So, welcome to the spreadsheet of dreams. All of the scores are out of 5. You may have decimal places if you wish. And we'll start with you, Ems, because it's your choice with the recommendability, please.
Oh, I feel like mine's going to be a lot higher than everyone else's.
That's fine.
Okay, so recommendability, I gave it like 4.9. Which
Pretty
I think we should just call it 5. It's because I was like, I don't want to give it 5, but I should probably just give it 5. I think we'd give it a 5. I would definitely recommend it.
Fine. Stephanie.
I've gone for a solid 4 because I would recommend it because of the plot twists, not because of the acting.
When you tell people about it, are you going to say, stick with it because something weird happens? Or are you just going to tell them to watch it?
I'll probably disclaimer it, or I might use my really, really exciting description of it earlier of 2 films stuck together. I reckon people might go for that.
Helen.
The highest I can give this, I think, is a 3.
Burn.
I mean, there's a few things I struggled with it. I guess Brad Pitt fans might like it.
Do you think that, though?
I don't know.
Because I was wondering people...
Well, no one went to see it at the cinema anyway. So basically, no one was particularly bothered about it. Particularly as I don't know who its target audience is particularly, because I don't think there's enough spying in it and action in it to be like a kind of man's spy film. But then the romance in it isn't particularly exciting or convincing for it to be a romantic drama. So I don't know what film it is.
I always wonder about people who have to watch like every film from a director or every film from a particular actor or actress, because inevitably they've done some shit films along the way. And
well, not everyone. David Fincher.
I've not seen Zodiac, but you like it though.
Yeah, Zodiac's good.
Zodiac's good. But there are some people.
Yeah.
Typically, I mean, Steven Spielberg has got some shit films along the way that you just think, should I watch that?
You forgive him, though, don't you?
Yeah, he do. I'm not going to watch Beowulf though.
No.
But with Brad Pitt, he's done some stinker films. He's done some amazing films. We reviewed 7 recently, and that's got to be high up there on his canon.
Yeah.
Thelma and Louise is not his film. He's in it.
But he's great in it. I can't remember seeing anything that Brad Pitt's done recently and
thought was
brilliant.
amazing.
Yeah.
I think the last good film was Inglourious Bastards, which I really enjoyed with him.
That's
in it.
incredible. That is a great film.
Yeah, and that
was
when
a while ago, then.
It was, and that's what I mean. And that's the when he was doing the Buongiorno accent in Inglourious Bastards, I was thinking about him doing this like faux French, Canadian, Montreal, Quebec accent, and that's all I kept on thinking was him doing this crap Italian accent in Inglourious Bastards and actually doing a better hammed-up job of it because he was supposed to be shit at it. But here he was shit at it. So my score, it's going to be low. I think it's going to be 2.1. As a slight disclaimer for this as well, I remember seeing the trailer for this, and I try not to watch trailers anymore, but the trailer kind of laid out the whole plot. And then we think your wife's a spy, and I was like, well,
you were like, oh yeah,
well that's the film.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know anything about the film, but I just knew I didn't care whether she's going to be a spy or not. So, and that's what transpired in this film. I didn't care when that scene happened.
See, I knew so little about this film. I thought we were watching Fury.
Oh, really? Is Brad Pitt in that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah,
shit.
he is. Oh, actually, good Brad Pitt film. That's a good
haven't seen that.
film.
Yeah, Fury's... who directed Fury? End of Watch guy.
Oh, I want to say David something, but it's not.
I'll find out whilst we're going to the repeat viewing score, Ems.
So 5 times.
Yeah, 5 times.
Are you going to watch it again?
So, yeah, probably. No,
Well, you get a recommendation of 5.
This I mean, we'll come back on it. This film is 2 hours and 4 minutes. So
Doesn't need to be.
You've spent
10 hours.
10 hours of your
Actually,
life
that's
on this.
really sad. Why you don't?
David Ayer. David Ayer directed
David
Fury.
said David, didn't I?
Yeah.
The cast in that is just so good.
Shia LaBeouf.
I've got a
Such
friend
a good
who was a
cast.
stunt actor for Fury.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was excited about maybe seeing him and then realised it was a completely different film we were watching.
Oh.
Savage.
So yeah, 10 hours.
Yeah.
Longer than that. 10 hours and...
10 minutes.
Yeah. So I can no longer say I never have time to do anything because clearly I do. That's really sad. I actually was a bit like, it's probably unfair for me to say if it's got repeat viewing score on it because I've obviously watched it a ton of times. So I asked my partner and he was like, I would give it like 2. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, like 2 all round. I was like, okay, fine.
And what's your partner's name?
It's Rupert.
So M/Rupert score.
Yeah, it's 2.
Of 2.
Yeah, he's like, I made him watch it for the second time last night and he was on his phone and was like, yeah, we're done with this.
Stephanie.
I've given it a generous 3 because I don't really think you could watch it twice for your own enjoyment because you already know what's going to happen. But it would be quite cool to watch someone else watch it and then watch them go, what the hell? I think that would be quite
was
good.
it that surprising though? I don't know. I just don't.
You watched the trailer. I didn't. Mine
No.
was a total surprise. Just popped up on Netflix, clicked on it. That was a golden viewing moment, but you ruined it.
So you didn't know anything about it, Helen?
No.
You didn't think the twist is anything special?
Well, no, they were like, we think your wife's a spy. And I was like, oh, she's a spy then.
So that's that.
Clearly a spy.
Because it doesn't. I don't think it ranks up there with the great twists or great.
I mean, it's no
plot shifts.
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
I watched that the other day. This is great because this is a film I actually watched of all the ones you said. I watched that the other day and had to Google what was going on because I had no idea.
Oh yeah, this film
lost.
is not
Yeah,
that complex.
That's Tinker Tailor's a great spy film.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Really good.
I must be
But,
really
yeah.
gullible because I was like, ooh, twist. I knew something had to happen because they couldn't just live happily ever after.
like in Highgate.
Yeah.
I've kind of seen a lot of films though, so
Yeah.
it takes a lot for me
It takes a lot to
to
sweep you
blow
off your
my
feet.
mind. Yeah. I don't know. I just like, oh, she's a spy then.
Repeat viewing, Helen.
Oh,
Sorry.
I mean, what one? I'm not going to, but it wasn't. I didn't find it a painful experience watching this.
I think the thing about it being the twist aspect is when there's a film that's got a great twist, then you want to rewatch it to see if there are any clues leading up to that.
Yes.
And this one, there's literally no clues.
And also, they show you the clues in kind of a Brad Pitt flashback anyway.
What?
So when he's thinking about it, so there's a bit in the car where she's saying that,
How about the feelings?
yeah, I don't know, she's a
She
good
says,
spy
I
because
keep my emotions real and that's why
that's
it
how
works.
it works, yeah. And he does like, oh, flashback to that moment.
Yeah.
So he knows anyway.
Of course he knows.
Well,
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed having watched it again and again and again that there wasn't anything marvellous that I sort of got from it having known the story. I even went as far as to Google hummingbird symbol because that's on her coat, on her
Colibri.
shawl. And I was like, what does it mean? It must have a secret meaning that means like something like.
So you're
I
like
don't know.
almost like Follow the White Rabbit in Matrix, where it was an Alice in Wonderland kind of thing.
And then massively disappointed when I was like, no, they've just chosen a hummingbird. That's a shame. Yeah.
Just a nice coat.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for 1. I can't think I'm going to watch it again. There's better films out there for me. Small screen score.
I feel like this is a really personal film. I'm really invested in
Please
this.
don't take it personally.
Some people do take it like to heart. And then you get what I like sometimes is the defensive scoring. Now I'm going to give it 5. Really?
Literally, I'm now
To
changing.
bump up the scores.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm changing my tactics. It's 5 all round from here on out.
Small screen score, Ems.
I actually did give it 5, just because nothing really big that you couldn't watch on a phone happened.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty basic, isn't it?
There's no huge cinematic.
There's a
views.
couple of bits. There's a bit where he first lands in the parachutes and he walks across the dunes. I was like, that's quite nice.
I missed that bit.
You missed the start of the film.
Oh, I didn't
made
get
it.
that as
that
well.
made it. You'd have loved it. If you'd just
Yeah.
seen that bit, you'd have loved it.
And then there's the plane crashing. That was quite interesting.
That was good.
But apart from that, there was like,
For Robert Zemeckis, there was
it's poor.
hardly anything.
yeah.
Hmm.
So you're giving it a 5, you say, for
Giving
small
it a
screen.
5, yeah. There wasn't anything that if I hadn't watched it if I had watched it in the cinema, it would have enhanced the viewing experience.
And I don't even think, well, get to your score, Steph. Annie.
Thank you. Cheers.
And a knee,
And a knee.
and a leg.
Thank you. All essential body parts are present. I've gone for a 4 because I have a really small TV and it was fine.
Helen.
Well, I'm staying with friends at the moment, and they've got a really big TV.
Yeah.
And I quite enjoyed watching on that TV. Made me a bit sad that
You're going to go back to a smaller TV.
That's a smaller TV. So yeah, it doesn't need to be seen in the cinema. 4. Yeah.
I'm going to go 4. 5. Yeah. Apart from that intro scene and the plane crash, I don't think it's almost like a Midsummer Murders kind of setting, isn't it?
And the town, the Casablanca scenes.
Didn't make the most of it.
Well, it did not look like Casablanca. It looked like a film set. Like if you look at the road, it just looked like they'd thrown dirt on a wooden floor or something. I was not convinced by the location.
Boo for the road.
Engagement score. Ems.
I gave it a 4. I have to be honest. I want to give it a 5. But then I was fully engaged on every viewing of this film.
All 5.
All 5 viewings.
You said Rupert, who had a leaning into the score for repeat viewing. He wasn't engaged the second time round.
He was not, no. But we don't count Rupert in anything, so it's fine.
Well, you counted him in repeat viewing. No, you'll take your score.
Take my score.
We'll take the 4 for engagement.
Come on, Stephanie. Nice big high score over there, please.
Yeah,
We're
I
on the
feel-
same team.
Some people take this competitively as well. But anyway, yeah, sorry, Stephanie.
We're quite competitive.
Why are you
This could be
trying to
dangerous.
make us compete against each
Sorry.
other?
We don't need any excuse to compete against each other. It happens all the time. I feel ashamed of it now, but I went 5 because
Yes.
I was so confused by that this is 2 films stitched together. Now I need to watch the whole thing because I don't know what's happened. I've gone 5 because I'm a fidgeter, a natural fidgeter.
Sure.
And I think I actually concentrated,
That's fine.
for
You don't need
most
to
of this.
apologise. If it got you in the feels, then that's fine.
Not necessarily because it was awesome, just because I didn't really know what the hell was going on.
Because you were confused by it.
Yeah, and I needed an explanation of like, oh, what? Now she's okay, fine. I needed to know where that was going.
Helen.
I'm going to give it a 4. My phone was charging in another room, so
The Sudoku book was on the shelf.
I was fairly engaged. I thought it was a bit slow, and I was kind
2
of
hours and 2 minutes.
long. But
There's worse films for that.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was all right. It was fine. I was like, come on, get to the bit. Wanted it to move along a little bit faster, and it doesn't need to be 2 hours. But I watched it all the way through, and kept me entertained.
Well, you're contractually bound to watch it all the way
I
through.
know.
Although there's a couple of films you haven't watched all the way through. Haven't you?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Guilty.
I'm going to be 3.5. 3.5 points for the first half of the film until they have sex, and the rest of it, like 0 for the rest of it.
Ow! You were that turned off.
I was just like, literally
And
like,
Kobe is normally quite generous.
yeah.
So,
Well, that's even worse.
I think that is generous.
yeah.
So that gives us an overall score of 3.47, which is...
Yeah, that's not bad, actually.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Respectable.
You've,
Respectful of how much we
you've beat
bashed it.
up, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't really bashed it.
No.
This hasn't taken a proper kicking.
Yeah, I think I've been quite kind to it.
Yeah?
Okay, that's not too bad, is
No.
it? It's not 0. That's what we have to
It's
remember.
not 0.
Not the lowest, so
zero.
there we go. I mean, if it gets over 3, then you're doing fine.
Yeah. So can you guys sign off by letting us know where we can find you guys online?
So you can find us at www.themightyfoof.com. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mighty Foof.
And Foof is spelled F-O-O-F.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
All the ooze.
All the ooze.
Okay, that came out wrong.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for coming on the show, and thank you very much for bringing Allied to us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us. It's been a
you.
pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening. As always, you can find us on iTunes. Do subscribe and leave us a nice review if you feel like it. You can find us on Twitter at FlixWatcherPod, and the website is flixwatcher.tv. Thanks, as always, to the Mighty People for their mighty, mighty tunes, and thanks to Brendan Russell for his awesome editing skills.